like to welcome you to our first season podcast where we are talking about family and relationships. But today we are actually talking about a very special topic that I feel like is very important for us to really touch on because the both of us are women. And then we have our special guest, Mr. D'Angelo, who is also the producer, who does amazing work, but he also provides awesome insight from a male perspective. And so, without further ado, we are getting into the topic of what it is like being a colored woman, a woman of color, um, and being unprotected. And how I came about this topic, this thought just kind of crossed my mind. I was just listening to just some things that were going on in the background while I was at home, and um, there was a situation that happened with a young lady, and a guy just kind of really got upset, so he made a whole podcast about it. And it just put me in a headspace of like, wow, we are like one of the most, it's 2021 and we are still one of the most unprotected species that are walking the earth.
Right.
Unprotected yet powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I began to wonder, why is that? Why? How did we get to how did we get this far yet there's still so many other barriers
Right.
that have not been broken yet?
Right. So many barriers that haven't quite came to realization that even though women of today is being so empowered and being empowered, there's still some thoughts of being undermined and also overlooked
Hmm.
because we are women. We were, quote unquote, supposed to only do certain things in life.
Like our roles,
Yes.
stand in our place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So when women broke those barriers, it's like the men became inferior of the power that the women have, even though they know what type of power she has,
Mm-hmm.
because she, even though she's the nurturer, you know, she's always teaching
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, taking care of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of put the men at pause.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of put them in a shock of, oh, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Where do I go? Like, how do I go about this? How do I go about that?
Mm-hmm.
And for some men, I guess it's you're only supposed to do this, and you're only supposed to stay home. You're only supposed to teach the kids and not be and having this much power.
Yeah, like those gender roles.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So
It's so
it
different, It's really touched my heart and wanting to put a little spin on this, and I was a little torn because I know when I'm committed to something, I really just try to stick straight forward to that
right,
commitment. And I had to remind myself to just be flexible.
right,
And I feel like at a time such as this, you know, for today, I feel like that is a topic that doesn't really get much attention,
mm-hmm.
you know. And you could pull up, I mean, you could look it up, and it's a plethora of information out there, articles or blogs or, that just really just again, like it just reinforces that thought that I've always had,
Mm-hmm.
of feeling like, wow, like I'm feeling, I'm walking around here, I feel unprotected. And for you, like when would you say would be that moment in your life where you really realized that you are a woman of color and you are unprotected? You're a target and you're unprotected.
Oh, I would most definitely say when I tried to apply for a position at my job, and I got denied a few times, and it was based on whether I can do the job or not.
Mm.
When I know for myself that I'm more than capable of doing the job and doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and with my job, it's more males than females. So, you will have to kind of have to really think about your positions and I would say try to I wouldn't say make it work, but try to overcome those obstacles of the bias.
Yeah, microaggression.
Of yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So with this new position that I have now, it was based on of a guy basically rejecting the position. So I was up next.
Wow. You go second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So even though I'm grateful for having my position, it kind of undermined of what I can do and what I was capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, with that being said, being a woman and trying to be a woman in power is very hard,
Yeah.
very hard.
Yeah.
And doing things in that manner in specific fields,
Mm-hmm.
um, it could be really challenging
Mm.
because with the manufacturing field, it's more men than women.
Yeah, definitely
So,
dominated by a male presence.
yeah, yeah, it is. And we basically have to let them know, like, look, we are able and capable of doing the job just as well as
Mm-hmm.
you. So, that's when I knew right then and there.
That's the thing, like microaggression is like a common part of our vocabulary in the mental health
Mm-hmm.
field. And me being an African American woman, we are still a minority in that,
Mm-hmm.
in the higher up that you go, being more on that clinical level,
Mm-hmm.
the more crap you have to go through,
Yes, indeed.
and so when I first entered into the field, I entered as a care manager.
Right.
And I believe for me, that was like my first time really realizing that how unprotected that I felt. And what happened for me, I ended up taking a position in Amelia, Ohio. And I knew that the culture was a little different. I knew based on, just little background that I had to do in regards to my research for schoolwork and that sort of thing. And so I knew that I was tending to the Appalachian population. But what happened, it was more of like my first week, and I was getting cases assigned to me that week. And there was a new case that came in. A lot of the cases had rolled over from, another case manager that had left. But this one new one in particular, I never got a chance to meet him. I made one phone call. And the next day, my supervisor called me into the office and said, well, you won't have to worry about so-and-so because you're different. They don't want you. And for a minute, it kind of went over my head.
Right.
And just in that same instant, it was like, oh, like it went from a what you mean to a, oh, I see what you mean. Because I almost forgot where I was, and it continued to happen. So again, it was just like that reaffirming, like, okay, so you don't want to work with me because I'm African American, But what really got me was when I was having to go out into the community. And I'm seeing the Confederate flags, and I'm seeing, what are those dolls called again? What do they call those dolls? The
one that got the little black face with the noose around
Jigaboo
it.
dolls.
With the lips.
And they were hanging all over a person's porch. And by then, I was maybe already like a year into the position. So I was already well acquainted of, the different things that were going on.
Right.
But in that moment, I was just like, wow. Like, here I am. I'm riding through these curvy roads. Early wee morning, wee hours in the morning into the evening. I'm knocking on people random doors. I don't know who you are. But my position requires for me to drive to your home, knock on your door, and check on you and make sure that your basic needs are being met.
Right.
Anything could have happened to me.
Right. Those are the most scariest moments.
And I'm realizing where I am, and it did get scary. I was like, wow. Like anything could happen to me.
Right.
And who can protect me? Who is going to protect me? And so immediately it put me in position to have to start thinking differently, moving differently, And we're some resilient survivors, and so we automatically, when it comes down to it, we think, quick on our feet. And so I began to do things purposely and create a pattern in the way that I moved, just to make sure that if something were to happen to me, that they would know. How did I know that it worked? I'll tell you how I know. I did something out of the ordinary because something unordinary happened to me. I ended up locking my keys in my car. It was a newer car at the time, and it was supposed to be a fail-safe where if your keys were inside the trunk wouldn't close. Well, I had a speaker in the trunk that kind of created some type of like wave resistance. So it didn't pick up that the key was inside of the trunk. And I ended up dropping my keys in there while I was unloading bags into the car. And so I was locked out of my car. And the people that I worked with realized she's never late coming back from a client. And she has another client here that's been waiting for her. I didn't have a phone to call anybody. Nobody wanted to let me use their phone to even just call, to say, hey, this is what's going on. I had to foot it, which was a 30 to 40 minute walk.
Wow.
In Amelia, Ohio.
Wow.
I walked. I had to walk to the office to make a phone call to my insurance company so that they can send out a tow truck to unlock, or somebody to come and unlock my car. And when I got there, they were already on the phone. They were in a panic. And I said, well, I can't get to my phone because my phone is in the car. But right then I knew that, okay, you moving the way you need to move just in case something happened. But it also put me in the headspace of why do we have to live that way?
Right.
And not saying I want to live just happy go lucky, all free and,
Right.
oblivious to, the dangers that are going out there, but you have to literally like live your life strategically based off of the premise that you know that you are unprotected.
Let me ask you a question. What would that look like in a workplace? Like for you to feel protected. Like what that look like in that situation? What would you rather have done? Escorted by a cop when you go to these spots, or I mean, how can somebody in a workplace can assist you in a situation like that, just popping up into these neighborhoods, going to people's houses, things like that? So what can be put in place, you think, to make you feel comfortable?
I really believe like if I had not, I think the way that I move should be incorporated into trainings, safety trainings. Had I not done the things that I did and creating that pattern, let's say I was an inconsistent person.
Right.
They probably would have just took that as if like, oh, she always late.
Right.
And it's always the what if factor. What if that wasn't the case for me?
Right.
My car could have still very well been at Walmart, but I would have been missing. Who would have known? You know what I'm saying? And so I believe that being a team player in the workforce, being accountable, not being dismissive, when something is out of the ordinary, even for the inconsistent person, an inconsistent person still has inconsistent patterns. They're patterns. They may be patterns that's up and down, inconsistent versus straight,
Right.
Paying more attention to those type of things, I think, would just create a sense of safety.
I mean, would you think, for example, okay, you're gonna see a client, and when you finish with a client, should you call in, let them know you going to your next appointment? Is that something that y'all do?
No, that doesn't happen, and I'm gonna tell you that's like impossible. When you're in that case management, care management field, like it's impossible to check in because it's literally like a beehive. Like everybody has their assignments and everybody's on the go.
I mean, I can see that, but I'm saying, like, for example, okay, you got somebody at the office that, that's not running around doing them appointments. It could be a secretary, it could be, I'm just saying, for example, like, say you coming from one appointment, you leave from that appointment, you can call and say, okay, this is Charmaine, I'm going to my 10:30 appointment, that's where I'm going next. That's all I'm saying.
I will tell you this. When I moved to Georgia and doing my work in the community as a therapist there, I saw something very unique, and that's going to answer your question because it made me really realize that is a component that could be missing. And it's simple as a calendar. Working up here, yeah, we had a calendar that your supervisor could get into, but it wasn't a mandatory thing. You know what I'm saying? We kept our appointments in our little black book and kept it moving, which means our little black book stayed with us.
Right.
Whereas this agency I went to work for, no, you had to, that was mandatory. And the reason why it was mandatory for you to put that appointment in that calendar, that was a shared calendar, they said, well, if anything happened to you, we need to know where you are.
Right.
And so, again, it's just like they care. You know,
Yeah.
you could tell you're working in that agency or in that work field where they do care about you. They do care about your well being. You know, and then you got some that are just like, as long as you,
It is what it is.
as long as you
just
seeing them
gotta
people,
Be careful on your own.
as long as you seeing those clients, as long as you better do the best you can to take care of yourself.
You know what though? I know.
Yeah.
I always say, man, in a job like that, me personally, I would recommend to carry some type of, I don't know, some type of protection, a pistol, a taser, or some mace. And I know it's not allowed. You know what I mean? In some of them jobs, you know, but shit.
You can't carry it in the building, but they can't tell you what you can and can't carry in your car.
Shit, I ain't even talking about the car. I'm talking about inside a motherfucker's house.
Yeah.
I was sitting life insurance out of 45 on me. Motherfuckers, they know. It was a
Yeah.
CCW. Shit, I'm
They ain't
sitting life
gotta know.
insurance. God damn it. Like,
They don't have to know.
that's what I'm saying. That's the purpose. Because I'm going to tell you, it's no job out here. I mean, unless you're just reckless as a motherfucking, you know. But
Most
shit.
have a no gun policy, you know.
I mean, yeah, I know. I mean, but
And,
fuck that.
you know, I have a CCW, but I can't carry it, and I can't carry my weapon or my gun into the job because it simply just says on the door, clear as day. You know, it's part of policy that you cannot have a weapon. You know,
I understand.
and so even still, you know, even having a weapon, I still don't feel protected. Yeah, I know I could defend myself, but, and that's the but factor because that's the rebuttal behind it. Why would it even have to get that far?
For a pistol? To need a
I
pistol?
would seriously hate for that day, if that day were to ever happen, that I would have to use it in a form of self-defense. Why does it have to be that way? Like a person specifically targeted me, so now I have to, you know, and that's just the way of the world now. I get it. I understand it. I'm not walking around here just oblivious, you know. This is, you know, and when I say even just being oblivious, not being oblivious, you know, I become so comfortable with being uncomfortable that it's normal. And it's so normal that when a person enters into my life and even just suggest, hey, I wanna protect you. Let me know if you're okay. Let me know if you are right, or you need somebody to look out for you. It's hard for me to perceive that.
Right.
Why?
That was a huge problem for me once upon a time, like not even that long ago, that I really had to work through. And I believe we had this conversation before, where it just really dawned on me that I had a cousin that had said something to me like, you know, like you need somebody to protect you. And I wanna make sure you okay. And I knew that he meant well, but I could not. It was hard for me to receive that. It was hard for me to accept that here he was miles and miles away and he wanted to protect me. It was more of like, what you gonna do way over there? You know, that was my response. What you gonna do way over there? You all the way, you know, halfway across the U.S. What you gonna do? But I knew he meant well, you know. And again, it put you in a headspace. Like, why is that hard for me to accept that you have someone who wants to be that protective factor?
Right. It's probably because majority of our lives we never really had that. So being as a grown adult and for another adult to say that, it's kind of hard to accept and kind of hard to really think about when all along that's something that you really never had. So you don't know what that type of protection looks
I'm sipping
like.
my Peace and Vitality. I'm sorry, I just slurped in the cup. This tea is so good, y'all. Y'all have no idea. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah. When you're a grown adult, when you turn into a grown adult and you really never had that type of protection to begin with, it's kind of hard to even look at it and to see what it looks like.
Mm.
So you get into that headspace of, okay, I've been here and there, and I've had this person in my life and that person in my life, and I thought that they were protecting me. Was that really protection?
Ooh.
Or was that really something else?
Ooh.
That's a good question because I'm sitting here listening, right? And I'm thinking like, when you say protection, what type?
What type of
what is
protection?
protection? Like what levels are we speaking?
What type of protection?
Like, yeah, I mean, because for example, I look at it like, I have a sister. I have two sisters, nieces, cousins, right? And yeah, you got the protection from somebody that's domestic. You got protection from a stranger. You got protection where you have to give advice. You have to do physically protecting a motherfucker. You know what I mean? You got you. I mean, it's different type of protection.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm trying to clarify.
Well,
Like,
we're dealing with so many different ailments. This is why we are considered the most unprotected species walking the earth. This is why, because we catch it from every corner, every angle, every aspect, whether it's the workforce, your own home, your own family relationships, public, politics, leadership, power, finances. I could go on and on and
I mean,
on.
no, yeah, indeed.
And so this topic, it could be so broad, but it still falls under one umbrella: being unprotected. So, and I know, like, for sis and I, like, we didn't really, we have males in our family, but the presence is not strong. You'll run into more females than the males. And the males exist, but where are they? And so, for me, being an outsider looking in, I can see the difference between a woman who has a strong male presence in her family versus a female who doesn't have that strong male presence. There's a lot of vulnerabilities that occur.
What that look like from a
Even for me, like how I wasn't receptive. That's why it was hard for me to be receptive. I've never had anybody come up to me and be like, "I want to protect you." I can't recall. You know what I'm saying? I can't. And that's no disrespect to, the ones that are around. But this is just me. This is just how I've always felt. And so when it was finally, really just verbalized, it felt awkward. It's like touching or hugging somebody at a random and they feel weird about it. Like, you get that reaction. It's like you want it, but you don't know how to receive it.
No, I mean, I agree because the reason I did because you don't hear it a lot like that. It's rare you hear a motherfucker walk up and say, "I want to protect you."
Right.
No, and
So
in
you
reality,
don't even
you're
hear
not
that.
going to hear it, but even just in action.
I think you would see more action first. You know what I mean?
Than to actually hear
Versus actual hear. So I could see why you would be like kind of thrown, like, you know what I mean? Because motherfuckers ain't walking up and saying shit like that. Like, it's more of an action. Like, it's more of a unspoken loyalty. For example, like my sister and my nieces and women in my family, like, even close to me, it's like a unspoken bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because we understand that, that's just touching for its relationship aspect of it. Like, your a female in your family could be dealing with a bum ass nigga, right? Like, and she might reach out and call for some advice. That's a form of protection because you're giving her advice on how to deal. You can't always jump in and take action unless it's called for, unless it's bodily harm. But even then, with some women, you got to be careful because a motherfucking call you out of anger. This motherfucker woo woo woo, and you go over there and do whatever you're gonna do, then they back to motherfucking together.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, remember, I think we had another topic when I was saying how a motherfucker called me. Old girl was at work and called me like a motherfucker down here fucking with me.
Yeah.
A knucklehead, yeah. If I was a knucklehead, I'd jump off head first. But that ain't the case. Like, so it's levels to protection in that. Speaking, I mean, on all levels. I mean, on all aspects of the protection part. But I just think it's an unspoken loyalty bond that's there, and I think that if the woman speak out and reach out, I'm thinking it's motherfuckers who will be there to reciprocate. If it's being said and motherfucker reaching like, hey, look, check this motherfucker over here, woo woo woo, like it's a phone call. Most men, we got, especially most. You ain't no crash dummy, like. You know what I mean? So it's like, if motherfucker call you and it's like that, then it's like that. But it's gonna be some questions involved, like, because I know years ago, motherfucking Avondale got his head knocked off because a woman, his cousin, they called too many damn times. And that last motherfucker time, that nigga was waiting on that nigga to pull up. And that's the danger in that shit.
Yeah, it could be dangerous.
You crying wolf because this nigga done made you mad, but you ain't really ready to let him go yet. You really just upset.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you just gotta really be careful. But but speaking from, it's just levels to it.
So for a female that recognizes that she has a certain level of protection when it comes to maybe dealing with an abusive spouse, like it might be used as a weapon. I think that's what I'm hearing.
You really gotta mean that shit.
Yeah.
Cause ain't no coming back from it. Now if motherfucker call me and motherfucker might go into jail or motherfucker be dead, like, and then or I done shot this nigga and I'm locked up and y'all back fucking.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck around and kill you too. Like,
Right.
I mean, motherfucker time to do that, they play that game. So you really
So what are some other ways that the protective factor, because it comes in many forms. So what are some other ways besides being there when drama come,
Advice. Like guidance. Guiding a motherfucker through a situation.
Yeah.
Telling a motherfucker what to say, what to look for. I do it all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
With my mother, when she was in a relationship with her boyfriend years ago, it was telling I had to say, Mom, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is my mom. Like, I'm 21, 22. I'm having a conversation as if she's my sister.
Yeah.
Because I'm speaking from a man point of view. Yeah, I was only 22, but I'm still a motherfucking man.
But you giving it from that you giving that different perspective.
And she received it.
Yeah.
I was never disrespectful, but I would probably cuss because I'm upset because I'm like, how do you not see this?
Yeah.
And I know it's not even about not seeing it. It's about men playing the games and fear and being fearful and don't want to bring motherfuckers. Most women, some women will, I don't want to call because I don't want such to happen. I want to keep the drama down. I want this to go on. Yeah. And in reality, when you do call, it got too fucking out of hand.
Yeah.
You should have made that call. You should have made that call when
I just feel
shit ain't right.
I just feel like, that should not be the only reason why that male presence should be called upon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I'm not going to call my brother because I got drama in the house. I made that mistake one time. After that, what was the point?
So did I.
And so when I look at forms of protection is more of, when it comes to certain things, like I know I could pick up the phone and I could call my brother. He taught me how to change my brakes on my car. He taught me how to do oil changes, and he sat me down and he said, this is how you do it, sis. Those are forms of protection, that you know, it's all, it doesn't always have to be about the negative things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bro ain't been around in a while. Now I got drama in the home. Now all of a sudden he kicking the door down, trying to bash a person face in. No, that's not what
That's
it's
not
about.
right.
You know.
Right. And I know for myself, since I'm the oldest, I didn't really. I felt like calling my brothers who's younger than me is like, what are they gonna say to me? And I'm the oldest. Like I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be the one that's more knowledgeable
Mm-hmm.
and let them know what's going on and how to do things. Like,
But we don't
how am
know
I gonna
everything.
right? Like, how am I
Mm-hmm.
gonna call my younger brothers to get advice or whatnot? But that was one of my mistakes
Yeah. Because they
because
both got it. Both of their
they
minds are,
both are
they
very
have beautiful minds,
knowledgeable.
very knowledgeable, very
Yes.
intelligent men,
Right, right. So that was, I know that was one of my reasons of not feeling protected
Yeah.
because of the oldest sibling syndrome. So,
I never really thought about that from your perspective. I think this is the first
yeah,
time that I'm really hearing you say that.
yeah. And as far as cousins and uncles, it's like, I don't know how am I going to get advice from them and they're XYZ far
Yeah.
away and
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah. So I'm hearing you. I'm hearing what you saying and how you have like your own personal predisposition that was a barrier for you.
right,
And then
right.
I also took something away from you, Court, where you actually said um, something along the facts of sometimes you have to speak up and reach out,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so could it be that sometimes that we're in our own way
Mm-hmm.
of being
It could
protected?
be.
Mm-hmm.
It could be because
Mm-hmm.
we have our own perspective on things and sometimes feel like a man should know when a woman should be protected and they should automatically do this, that, and the third. But when the men, they don't want to jump in right away because they don't know the severity
Mm-hmm.
of things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand his point of view because with a lot of drama going on in a woman's life, it's like, okay, how many more times am I going to try and protect you and you keep doing the same stuff over and over
Doing the
again?
opposite. It gets
And
frustrating. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it gets
Yeah.
frustrating. So I guess it kind of pulls the
Yeah.
the men back.
Mhm.
Like, I'm gonna just wait until you ready.
Till you for real about that
Right,
shit.
Yeah.
You can
right.
tell when a
And I
motherfucker
can
for
definitely
real.
understand that
Yeah.
because I'm the prime example of it,
Mm.
And I think that's why I never asked my brothers because I knew the severity of things and how
Yeah.
things could have went,
Yeah.
especially with my drama in my life. So,
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you something. Just for whoever watched this, man, it's just like we can't assume because your brother, cousin is younger
mm-hmm.
has nothing to do with his mentality and his
Right,
level of understanding.
right.
Because I remember when my sister, she was probably 18. You know what I mean? I'm 16. And she had an older boyfriend, a couple of years, quite some years older. And at one point, tried to, he had a girlfriend that he lived with, but we not having sex. I sleep on the couch. This is what he tried to pull over my sister's eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm telling my sister at 16, like, and we used to go argue because she'd say, "Oh, shut up, I'll get him." And I was, "Are you stupid? Like, that nigga be fucking her. Like, you better believe that shit. Like, what you mean? Like, you ain't gonna be in the house with a woman
Yeah.
and you ain't fucking. I don't give a fuck
Right.
nobody. Say ain't nobody ever that
Right.
goddamn mad."
Yeah.
Shit start
So it's,
motherfucking moving around and things start happening. Motherfucker go entertain. And we used to argue all the time, little brother, big sister, and she didn't. But as she got older, I still play a factor. You know what I mean? You know, I still play a factor.
But she had
in
to
her life.
trust you first. She had to
Yeah.
learn to trust you first. I'm hearing you say, like, in the beginning, she didn't trust you.
I was young.
You know,
Right.
what is it that you have to say to me that I don't know already?
Right.
You know, and so that takes me to, just normalcy. It's so normal for us to be in our own situations, in our own lives, and we're conducting our lives so much to the point that we're just not, we don't know when to ask for the help, you know. B, when the help is there, how do we utilize it? Are we receptive? Are we going to go against it? You know,
Depends on what the situation is.
it's so confusing.
And the stubbornness
right?
of how we are as women.
Yeah.
It's not as simple.
That's
It's
that
not as simple.
inconsistency.
Yeah, it's not as simple and,
You know.
and clear cut as we would
It
like
just
for it
makes
to
me
be.
really just think about, how we just so used to just being independent. You know, this is us. We live our life. This is how we conduct our lives. We make the decisions. I'll let you know if I need you.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And I feel like it's not a healthy mindset to be in. You know, we don't trust our protectors enough to be the protector. We don't trust our protectors enough to be the protectors. And why is that?
I mean, you get a lot of that shit. You get motherfuckers tell you, I'm grown. You tell me what. And this, I mean, you will hear all kind of, this backlash sometimes. Like, somebody trying to give you advice. I don't want to hear that shit. That don't work for me. Right? In that moment, that's what they doing. They trying to, let you know. But if it's not, receptive, what can you do? Right.
Right. You can't do anything.
So it's there. No, it's not always. Believe me,
I feel like trust is broken somewhere down the line.
I want to.
I really do. I really do.
In some cases, I can see
I
that,
feel like, and I'm gonna take y'all down this road here because I peeped the pattern of it a very long time ago. Just me and just doing my research and again just being in my deep thought process, and you can't help but to notice a pattern. And I know I'm not blaming everything on slavery, but we can't help but to realize that we are who we have become and came to be based off of, where our ancestors came from.
Right.
And we have come from broken homes, mistrust, and without any tools or any proper teachings or, all of these different interferences occurring, our ancestors bouncing, they trying to bounce back. They trying to get on their feet. They trying to make life happen. They trying to make life work. We deal with the emotional stuff later.
Right.
Right now we need to build this stability. So much that, it became so normal for, again, that male presence to not really be present in some families. That's normal.
It's design.
And it's like that by design. And unfortunately, this is the long-term impact.
Oh yeah.
We have to learn to trust the protector.
Jim Crow.
And the protector has to learn how to be the protector, how to protect appropriately.
Willie Lynch letter.
Yeah. But it also not only has to do with the slavery, it has to do with everything over the years. From slavery all the way down to civil rights.
Child support.
You know,
Welfare.
family being
my strong
broken
beliefs on
from
child support.
just on police brutality itself, and with the laws being changed and all of that ugliness that came along with it to break up families and for the woman to look at the man differently, and the how it impacted them because they felt like you couldn't protect us from this, so
Yeah.
how can I ever trust you?
Yeah.
How can I ever trust that you'll protect us again
Yeah.
when something else happens?
That's that pattern.
So
that trust. That
it
pattern
kind
of
of
trust being broken.
makes the woman more stronger and feel more independent. Like, if you can't protect me, then I really don't need you.
I can do
So
this all
why
by
are you
myself.
here?
Ooh.
But I'm gonna tell you something.
What's that saying? How that saying? I could do bad all by myself.
But I'm gonna tell you.
Ooh, that's saying. Hold on.
It says a lot.
That's it. That right
It
there.
says a lot.
That sends chills up my spine every time. From the very first time I've heard it being used, and still till this day, it sends chills up my spine. And I don't mean a good feeling. I mean like that's speaking from a damaged place.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A lot of that shit, like I said, just go back for us the slavery part. You know what I mean? Black men couldn't protect their damn self,
Right.
let alone a woman.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And just fast forward from that, you got the Willie Lynch ladder. He said, keep the man against the woman, the tall against the short, the light against the dark. And this shit would work for fucking thousands of years.
And it still is happening, still to this day.
Fast forward child support, Section A.
Yeah.
The man, you know what I mean? In order for the woman to get any type of assistance, the man have to be null and void. He cannot be in the home. So what that does, the woman, I don't need you. I think religion got something to do with it too.
Yeah.
You get a lot of motherfuckers out here say, I don't need nobody but Jesus. Like, and then, the dollar print on it. Man don't make enough money. He ain't got enough money for me. Fuck what he got to bring to the table.
Yeah.
Either
The structure.
she don't have enough money, or
Right.
she has too much money. So how am I going to protect her?
Yeah.
How am I going to be the provider if she make more money than me?
Yeah. Or I've seen it go the other way around too. The first point that you made, she don't make enough money. She not gonna make enough money, so I'm about to bounce to the next female.
And that's retarded as shit.
Doing something better.
It is.
If a
Seemingly
nigga
better.
with that that's crazy. Like,
It's happening though.
I know there's some sucker ass niggas in the world. I mean, you can't deny that.
It's happening.
But that's bogus though. That's crazy.
But again, we're talking about the divide.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call it the Great Divide.
It is.
Because that's what it is. It's so reinforcing for me. I had another moment this week where, I really realized this past week, when I think about Kamala Harris going into office, and, it's like I see us women, like, we feel great about it. Like, wow, like, she just broke a whole nother level of a glass ceiling, right there. That's amazing to see that happen. When you go from, and I don't know about you, but being the brown girl, and I was into them books, especially those history books.
Oh yeah.
And you see nothing but men, white.
Right.
And immediately you can't help but notice, like, oh, so the only people that's allowed to be in power are men. That's one strike against us. African American. Oh, not African American. That's two strikes. And so here we are. History was just made. And I don't see many men celebrating. And I just want to know why. I really want to know why. And I may not get my answer today. I may not get it tomorrow. I know people have their
Ever.
many different points of views, you know, but for me personally, it was reaffirming again that subtle thought of, you know, we're not respected and we're not protected.
Well, we could be respected and protected. It's just unsaid.
I believe so.
Why does it go unsaid? What's happening here?
Possibly, it has to do a lot of over the years, like for a man of color, a black man himself, to celebrate what's happening in history. It's like that silent thought of, I gotta watch what I say. I gotta watch what I do. If I go this far, like what's gonna come to me, and it goes all the way back to the slavery days where everything is left unsaid. Like everything is
like if I just
silence,
be quiet,
like
everybody's
you give
protected.
a certain nod or a certain look. It's like,
I think.
okay, is that all we're gonna get, or how do
And
we say everything?
And I'm not expecting
verbally?
no fireworks and no good job, boo boo. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not really expecting that, but you know, I just don't. I'm just not seeing. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not. I'm not hearing anything. And to me, it's just like that big question mark. I want to know what's on the men's mind. What is on a black man's mind?
That's probably something that's.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. You cannot say I disagree with women as black women is not protected. You know, because to say that is to say that I'm included. So I would say yes, it is some women out here that's vulnerable. You know what I mean? It's just, it's like once again, there's levels to it. Like it's a beautiful thing that she's in office. It's beautiful. Like, I mean, I don't think we fear speaking out against it because we don't. We do. You know what I mean? We have a lot of conversations in barbershops. We just have, we might not have it on in hair salon. We ain't in there. We're not in certain spots. Like, you know what I mean? So it's there. You know what I mean? The protection is there. It's just it's casualties of war. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes some women fall between the cracks. You know what I mean? Either they around a sucker ass nigga, you know what I mean, who don't know how to protect. You know what I mean? So I disagree a little bit when it comes to women not protected because for me, I try my best. I know a lot of other men that protect black women. Like I remember years ago, just being young, some young boy shit. We used to I think with my brother and shit. We used to ride around and jump out on motherfuckers and beat motherfuckers up. Like that was our fun, right? So one day we ride around through downtown, and we saw this dude beating up on this girl. Like, and this is the crazy part. Dude beating her ass, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. My brother, two of my cousins jumped out, started beating dude ass. What she do? No. Both our eyes closed. But my brother.
Stockholm syndrome.
So it's levels. The point I'm making is levels to that shit. Like, you know what I mean? So the protection be and not
it
saying
don't always have to be when it come down to the drama.
That's an example.
You know.
That's an example. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, that example fits almost in any category.
Right.
It's always gonna be a pushback somewhere.
You're right.
A motherfucker could give you their advice and wholeheartedly, and then a motherfucker turn around and say, well, you know what you know.
Right.
So it's like not saying that you can't say it's not there. The question is it receptive?
Right.
Is it welcome?
So does that kind of overpower overpowers or
Right.
overshadows the positive protection.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's not welcome. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers try to give advice and just, like, scratch the violence, right? We take violence off the
Right.
table. Let's just say
even-
advice.
yeah.
Let's just say, you know what I mean? So, oh, this motherfucker think he know what he talking about because he got this degree. Oh, this motherfucker think he this, he that, because he work on another level than me.
Like, you don't
Oh,
know
this
my
motherfucker.
life.
So it's
My
all
life.
level. It's pushback.
Yeah.
So it's not. I refuse to say that black women is not protected because in my
It's
eyes,
a trust factor, and that's
That's what
the
it come
thing.
down
like
to.
it comes down
Yeah.
to there is something broken. There is something broken in our ability to trust in one another. There's something broken. Whether men are not sure when to step up or when to step down, women are unsure of when to accept and when to deny. There is something distorted, something broken, and I think we all can agree on that.
Yeah.
You know, and that is the reinforcer of that pattern that I am seeing. You know, why do men feel like they don't have to speak up or they're not going to speak up?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Is it because of, oh, she probably not gonna be receptive to it, no way.
because you get a lot of women out here who prideful of I'm an independent motherfucker. I don't need no man. You know how much that shit is shouted. How much can you tell a motherfucker you can't do nothing for me, nigga?
It
Yeah.
don't need that's and that's another thing. That's another phrase that
Right.
strikes a chord. Because
How
I'm
many times niggas gonna
independent.
take that shit?
I am independent, but I don't parade it around. I don't need to parade it around. You see it in my actions. You see it in the way I move. You see it in the, I'm more of a what you gonna bring to the table to add to what we got going on, make this situation a greater situation type person. And I'm always open to suggestions
Right.
type person. I feel like if you have it and that's who you truly are, independent, it goes without saying. I feel like it's a form of what they say, where people just kind of like stick their chest out a little bit, to try to intimidate the next person. In all actuality, I feel like some people that do say that, they say it out of fear of feeling insecure, to the next person. It's something that needs to go unsaid, It's a distraction. That's a huge piece of why it's broken.
So how do we get those things back? How can we as women get that trust back in the men, and the men get that feeling of, okay, it's okay for me to protect them and give them advice and do everything that they need to do?
I'm gonna tell you something. I think we can start with stop putting a dollar amount on respect, love, right? And let me go a little deeper, because most women, this is, and once it, the blended, but most women, if this man don't make us enough money, he ain't got no voice in his own motherfucking home.
Right.
God forbid she make more money than that man.
That's the castricize.
It's gonna stripe away, take away any fucking advice, any leadership quality, because they gotta believe that the money is the main motherfucking thing. Or he ain't making enough motherfucking money. This is why a lot of men go off their sex. Because a woman gonna respect that man. If you fuck her and it feel good, she gonna respect, she gonna listen. It might not last long, because she can get dick anywhere. But in that first motherfucking that good year and she loving that shit, oh, what you say, baby? If that dick and that money don't match up, shit. That's why I tell motherfuckers, I'm gonna tell you something I know for a fact. Like, you know what I mean? Because motherfuckers both states, I don't need a motherfucker. Yeah. That to speak to him, you changing your own tires. I mean, brakes and oil changes, which is a beautiful fucking thing. Because it's a tactic to where you don't need a nigga, you know what I mean? But at the same time, if a motherfucker like, oh, baby, I got that.
It's good.
It's beautiful, right? But then you get some motherfucker, I don't need no motherfucker. I got this. You don't need.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers get mad when they see a nigga don't get out the car and watch his woman pump the gas. You know what I mean? So some women, I'll never say all because it'd be taboo, but they so so prideful women. Don't no man want to be around a woman who don't need them and keep fucking saying that shit. Right. Everybody want to be wanted and needed.
Right.
Just what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Why would you want to lay next to me? I don't need a motherfucker.
So you gotta let your guard down.
Yeah.
You have to let. Yeah. You have to trust. You have
if
to
he's
trust
showing
each
you,
other.
if he's showing you, if this man's showing you certain fucking traits and things like that, let him do that.
Right.
Don't get mad, God, because most likely we know motherfuckers don't know how to argue, motherfuckers don't know how to debate, because when that time sit in, now motherfuckers pulling out all kind of motherfucking cheap shots and shit. Right. Oh nigga, you, no motherfucker, you ain't got a motherfucking car. I gotta pick you up.
Yeah.
Now it's some men out here who it take a little longer to level up. Most women can level up faster in the work field than most men. But when that woman do that, and that man and his dollar don't match her dollar, man, it's a wrap. No respect. I see it too, motherfucker. I see it too, motherfucker, often.
Yeah.
Who want to respect that?
That's the thing. I think too. You know, it goes the other way. You know, the other way around as well, because you can get a very insecure man. You know, who probably mean well, but they're not equipped to deal with their own internal mess.
What you mean? What you mean?
And they're not equipped to deal with that own internal mess so much that it makes them insecure. So you may get a woman who, yeah, like I've been in situations where I knew how to change my own tire and I was okay with that. I can pump my gas. I'm okay with that. What I would like for you to do is X, Y, Z. You know, that's where I need you at, you know. And even still, that wasn't enough, you know. It became more of, it's more of a competition, you know. I'm gonna come up. As soon as I come up, I'm gonna make sure I'm treat you like, you know, basically how people act when they feel like they got shitted on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, when did I start getting treated like the enemy? Like, when did I ever make you feel insuperior? You know? And so for a man, that when they have that sense of insecurity, it can really impact the dynamic of that relationship as well. You know, and so when I say it go both ways, like you have to understand where you're coming from and what your intentions are. Right. You know, and if your intentions are well, again, which I bring it to the table to make the situation better. You know, I'm not playing mind games like, oh, I can't open the pickle jar, so I'm just gonna pass him the pickle jar to make him feel good.
I got you, baby.
That's the most bull crap.
He's strong.
Psychological.
That's my baby.
It's training you for psychological warfare, and for me, I'm not that type of individual. Like I'm not planting seeds, because I'm not practicing and preparing to be at war or at odds with you. So I'm not gonna do that. You know, I'm not manipulating no type of situation. But if I have my partner who may not be feeling well that day, and we might very well be driving to the hospital and I got a flat tire, he's not getting out the car with a broken arm to try to change the damn tire. I'm going to change the tire. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just situations like that where, you know, again, it's what I bring to the table. I may not have to use that skill all of the time. I know how to step back.
It's a helpful skill.
Absolutely. I know how to step back and trust the process. Give trust to that man.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it wasn't easy, you know. It wasn't something that was automatically taught to me. I had to unlearn what I learned and relearn some things,
Right.
you know. And so when I say that, like putting your guards down, you know, we have to be willing to put those guards down and know like what paying attention, just being intuitive to what you're receptive of, how you're responding when certain things are offered to you.
Right.
You know, I lost all my pants in laundry. Told you my attention span get terrible. So, well, you know. And so I lost my pants in laundry. And when I say my pants, I mean all of my pants. Like I didn't have pants to wear to work. And when it came down to me having to pull out my outfits for the weekend, it was a real busy weekend. Went to the laundromat on a Friday. By the time Sunday came, I was like, okay, I need to put my laundry up. And I went to put my laundry up and realized that, yeah, I don't have pants to wear to work. I literally left my entire, you know, wardrobe. But a beautiful thing happened, you know, and even then within myself, I realized how much I have changed. But my beautiful friend, Nate,
He had to button up his shirt. Like,
Finish.
he offered, you know, to purchase my pants. Like he just gave me money. I didn't ask him for it. He gave it to me. I could have very well went and did all of that myself, you know. But again, I let the barrier down, you know. I let my wall down. And here's someone who wants to do something nice for me.
right. And that's something that we have to start doing for the men. Like, just let that guard down. When he's willing and let you know he wants to help, we definitely have to let that guard down and not tear him down with, nah, that's okay, I got it.
Yes.
That's all right.
That's the first thing we say, right?
all right.
No, I'm good.
Cool.
I'm cool. I'm good. And you know dang on well, girl, you ain't good.
Right.
Girl, you know you eating them
No.
ramen noodles in that damn closet that you done had in that pantry for about 6 months. And
To a year.
you ain't got nothing because you done spent all your daggone money trying to get all them daggone Christmas and birthday gifts. And now you ain't got nothing. And you up here talking about, I'm good. I eat ramen noodles. You don't trust him enough to do something nice for you because he sees with his own eyes what your situation is without you even saying a word,
Trying to be the protector.
you know. And all I did was say to him, like, this check out this BS that I done did, and I'm so mad at myself that I done did this, you know. And I get home from work, and of course I broke the dress code that day, but it was an effort moment. Like, you gonna have to take Charmaine how you get Charmaine today. Like, I'll take that right up today. You know what I'm saying? But it was offered to me, and there was no hesitation.
Right.
And in that moment, I realized that was something different for me. Like, I reacted differently because I don't get many people that want to do nice things for me outside of family,
Right.
you know. And so when that happened, I was just like, dang, like, it was just confirmation that I was in a better place.
Right.
Because I wasn't looking at him suspicious, like, oh, what you want from me?
Right. What's your intention?
What's your intention? What you got?
But you gotta understand too, though. We go back.
Yeah, we go way back.
Our
We go way
friendship,
back.
is deeper.
Go way back.
We go back, like, it's too far back to not. Yeah, I mean, you know, when you see a situation that needs assistance, even though I know shit, you make good money, goddamn it, shit. You know what I mean? It wasn't even about that. It just, you know, why not? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Why not? Like, I mean, so, you know, but sometimes, like I said, you know, but then it's a difference because you didn't ask.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key.
Right.
You didn't ask.
She was basically letting you be a man.
Yeah, she didn't ask. That's
So that's
the.
kind of contradictory, though. So we gotta be mindful of our listeners, because
Well, let's go deeper with that.
when a person, so in the beginning when we talking about letting our guards down and asking, right? But what's the difference between asking and not asking? When is the appropriate time?
It depends on the man, and the type of man I am. It's how things is worded to me. It's how things is brought to me.
Yeah.
Cause a motherfucker must say, you know what? Can you go buy me some pants? Like,
Yeah, that's kind of rude.
I'm listening to the fluctuation of your voice,
Yeah.
how your body language moved when you said it, and then depending on what mood I'm in when I heard it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, and then our relationship, like, I mean, so, you know, I mean, it's a lot of shit that go into that. Like,
A lot of things that go into it.
it's not as simple and cut dry.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm more of a man that if you ask and I know you, that's different. And we don't have no motherfucking relationship outside of it. If I just met you and you came out, or most niggas, yeah, I pay for it. Like you said, what you want from me?
What you want from me?
You gonna get something from you. Take it out your ass. Like, you know what I mean? Just what it is. Like, it just depends. Like,
See,
you know
things
what I mean?
like that is what makes. See, now we're about to go into a whole nother topic,
I mean, but it all
but
plays
you
a
see
factor,
how it,
though.
but you see how it just continues to facilitate that ongoing cycle of.
Yes, it does.
You can't. Again. We have to work on breaking those barriers. The old way of thinking, like, it has to be changed, and I emphasize has to be, simply because it's like that wheel is just constantly turning. We just turning our wheels, and until we can really look within ourselves, whether you male, female, and figure out how you are contributing to this cycle, and say to yourself, okay, I'm no longer thinking this way. I'm going to do the opposite. Am I saying be out here all willy-nilly and vulnerable and, all damsel in distress? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying be smart about it. But also at the same time, it takes two.
It always takes two.
I'm just saying, I'm going to tell you, so I had a motherfucker tell me, and I had a female tell me, she said, why do men like to always want to have sex? And I said, well, why most women like to want a nigga go out and spend his money? Take it out. I'm going to take me here. I mean, buy me this and buy me that. And she right back ain't cheating. Like, it's a business deal. If this man don't have no problem going in this pot, he don't know you. Y'all just mad. But you want this man to treat you and give you and do this and do that. Yeah, I mean, it's a fair exchange.
No strings attached.
You know what I mean? It's a fair, you know what I mean? Every man don't do it that way. Some do, some don't. But, for example, I had a motherfucker. This was a couple of years ago, right? And for some reason, she thought I'd never been to a Mexican restaurant before. Well, that thing, whatever. So we go to the Mexican restaurant. She asked me, do you want to, she said, I'm going to take you to a restaurant. Let's go get some Mexican food, whatever. Long story short, get there, boom. Check come out. They give it to me. I slid it to her. Like, because you called me and asked me, do I want to get something to eat? That mean you paying. Right? That mean you paying. But these the games motherfuckers play. And I know this shit. I keep money on me. I mean, no, I know what time it is. But I just want to see where she was at. Right? So I slid her the check. Check with number $30, some change. So she like, oh, what you mean? I thought you was a gentleman. I said, what made you think that? How you told? You don't know me. Like, what make you think I'm paying for this? You call my phone. Like, I say, in which I laughed it off. I got it. I say, but that was a lesson learned. I schooled her. Like, I say, but you mad when niggas want some pussy. You mad but you call my phone, want to take me out to eat, but you want me to pay? That don't make fucking sense. That's a game. That's a fucking game.
That's poor boundaries.
You see what I'm saying?
The roles.
Motherfucker trying to be slick.
That is poor boundaries.
Like,
That is poor boundaries within the role. of having that expectation, and now I'm following you now, because when you say it in the way that I didn't ask, because I didn't come with that predisposition that, oh, he about to buy me some pants. You gonna give me some pants? I lost all my pants. You gonna give me some pants? You know,
Right.
versus I wasn't expecting anything. I get it now. Okay, that makes sense.
That's the difference. But I showed her a lesson too. Got her in the parking lot, rub out on her ass, titties and shit in public, like, and she allowed me. But this is what you pay for. I paid $30. What I'm gonna get for it? I'm gonna show you. I got
$40.
Motherfuckers play games. Like, motherfuckers play games. Motherfuckers gonna get out here and try to manipulate and play games. But you can't be mad when you get the response you get when somebody see you coming a mile away. Oh, I see you, bitch. Like, you know. But that's that part of the you know, manipulation shit that motherfuckers do, and why you know the trust shit be so fucked up, because you know motherfuckers like try to get something for nothing, and it ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So.
I just had another topic idea that just popped up in my mind. I'm already working on season two, girl.
But you know what? I do have a question though for y'all.
Yeah, what's up?
What does it look like for a woman? You know, if you never experienced, just your opinion. When a woman realizes she's in a relationship where she's not protected, what do that look like? When do a woman realize she's dealing with a man that's
who's not protecting her?
Yeah.
When she's doing everything alone, she's doing all of the work.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yep. And it's what she's putting in is not being reciprocated. And it's a feeling. It's more of a feeling than knowing. You feel it first before you really realize it. And when I say the feeling that you experience is exhaustion. It's almost as if like you feel like you are the only one doing all of the work.
For us, well, give me an example. When you say
For
doing
example,
all the work,
putting in all of the work.
y'all living together, y'all
Ideas,
in the same roof. Okay.
Living in the same roof, everything, right?
Okay.
She taking care of the chores around the house. She's making all of the choices and decisions around the house. She's deciding where they're going to go out on dates and where they're going to go, where they're going to park the car, where they're going to eat for dinner, like what are going to, you know, she's taking care of everything.
Paying the bills.
Even paying the bills.
No. I would say not. I would say even paying the bills.
Even paying the bills.
So all that got to be in that box to make somebody feel like you're not protected.
There's no sense of equality, and when I say it's a feeling before you come to the realization, because the feeling hits you, you feel exhausted. Like, man, I feel like I'm the only one around this.
Tired,
motherfucker. I'm the only one around this that care about the way that this relationship is working right now. You know, and it's like I gotta go get gas. You know, and I think it was a moment. I was in a thought, but I just stopped myself. But a moment that happened to me once before, where I did realize that I was unprotected. Man, I got so many. But this one moment in particular, it was a simple question as to, we only have $10 to our name, nothing else in the bank. $10. What are we getting from the grocery store? Now, this sound petty as hell, right? Sound petty superficially. But you got to think, that cup already full. She tired of making all the choices. She tired of making all the decisions. You know, what we going to do about money?
And that's him asking you.
What we doing next week? What we doing for tomorrow? We got $10 to our name. How are we going to get around? And when you get that answer of, I don't know. And just like that, what y'all hear, crickets. in that moment, you realize you in this alone. You in this shit alone. Ain't nobody here with you except for you. He just a body, you know? And you feel unprotected simply because here we are in this financial bond. See, and this is me feeling financially unprotected. See what I'm saying? That protection
Totally
comes in
different.
different realms.
Yeah, I agree.
It come in different degrees. And so an individual can be so used to having an independent woman that he will sit back and let her make all of the choices simply because he was an insecure individual, that he didn't feel confident enough to make those choices. And when it came down to the wire where it was just like, I done exhausted every possible angle that I have. Can you give me some ideas, bring something to the table? And when you get I don't know, it was like, it's like the final straw, like
on the cake.
where
I
you
agree.
start analyzing, like, wait, I'm really in this
Dolo,
alone.
Dolo solo. Yeah.
I'm the one driving this boat. I've been the one maneuvering this boat this whole time. But shit had been going so smooth that you didn't stop
You
to
didn't
think.
realize it.
Again, there's that familiarity, that there's that normalcy in us being independent. That sometimes it's hard for us to take that veil off and really see.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let me ask you the same question. Like, so what that look like? Like, I mean, she said it verbatim,
exact
and I'm
same
asking. And the reason I saw, I'm smiling because I always got a follow up question, right? Because when that shit happens, that's time in, right? You went to you.
Are you already invested?
You invested, right? So my question is, what did it look like in the beginning?
Same shit. You
It
see
was
what
the
I'm saying?
same- it was
Same
the-
shit.
But for me, it was more so of a facade.
Niggas like the
It
perp.
was a facade. for
Niggas
me,
perping.
because everything was being projected in a whole different manner. But also, it was right there in my face. I just didn't want to see it. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to believe it because it was something that I wanted.
Yeah, there we go.
So as time went by, years went by, whatnot, like she said, you get exhausted. And you're trying to figure out, why am I so exhausted? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Why am I the only one making choices? Why am I the only one that's working so hard? And it's like nothing is ever being done about it.
Yeah.
So over the years, you start to analyze and realize, like, hold on, something ain't right about this picture. Like, all this time,
You
I've
thought
been
it was
doing
flowing
this, that,
good.
and the third, and I'm allowing you to get this comfortable in this state. Like, okay, baby, I got this, I got that. Like, don't worry about that. But you get that sense of the knock in the head. Like, hold on, that's not how it's supposed to be.
But we so
Why are you
immune.
not being financially protected? Why are you not being emotionally protected? Why
That's
are
another
you not
one.
being protected in general to where as a woman, you don't have to work this hard. You don't have to feel this exhausted. You can just lower your guard down and let the man be a man and let him protect you. You don't have to do all of that. But as for myself, it was just stuff that I wanted to see or I didn't want to see. I wanted to believe in and I didn't believe in.
Yeah.
It was really all on me until I finally realized, like, nah, I'm tired of doing all this.
Yeah.
I'm tired of steering
It's almost
the
like we
boat.
create our own demise
Yes.
by being so immune. This is why it was so important for me to really work hard on changing my thought
Changing that
process.
cycle.
Changing the cycle, changing my thought process, changing how I was receptive to certain things and being open, knowing who I am for one, and knowing what I'm capable of, you know, but also at the same time, knowing I'm so secure within myself that I know that I know I got a bag full of artillery. I could pull it out whenever need be,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But I'm just gonna sit back. Just know your girl equipped, you know.
Right.
But it had to take for me to change my thought process.
And being in that process of being that type of independent person to where you were in that place, it's hard trying to get yourself out of that mindset. I'm still going through it. I'm still stopping myself all the time. Like, I know there's people that's in my life now that means well, wants to be there, wants to protect me on all levels. It's up to me to stop that cycle to where it's like, no, I got it. I'll handle it on my own. I'll figure it out. I struggle with that so hard. But I'm easing my way to letting a man be a man and let him do what he has to do in order to protect me and for me to know that I'm being protected.
Unlearning what you learned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I better say. Because I was wondering, like, you know, it is, like you say, unlearning what you learned. So I was taught younger. I mean, because listen to my mother preach to my sister. And that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, even some of the same tactics she preached to me. Like, I was raised by a woman, you know what I mean? And I forgot, that's where I got my game from my mama. Like, so she would tell you, you know, just for example, she would just say, you know, more or less heard it from I overheard her saying it to my sister, but it also applied to me. Like, you know, when I, and just the part, don't, what is it? Don't move in, whatever. Don't live with somebody where you can't afford to pay your rent if a motherfucker leave.
Right.
True.
Something to the fact of that. You know what I mean? Which makes sense.
Yeah, either that or don't move in with anybody, period. Get your own.
I say it all the goddamn time.
That's what my daddy used to always say. Make sure you got your own. And he would always tell me that in regards to my finances, you know. Combine that money together, but make sure you got your own, you know. He would always drop jewels here and there.
Don't let your right hand know what your left hand does.
Exactly. And it was something that I have learned from Mama when she was married before. Like, she used to always say, you know, even when you're married, you still have to live like you're single. In case anything goes wrong, you know.
Check out that thought process, though. You see what I'm saying?
That's a deep one.
Had that type of mindset.
That's deep.
That's
right
why
there.
I dealt with how I dealt with
deep.
a lot of stuff.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's a deep one.
Because I was still living as I was single. And I allowed for a lot of stuff to happen. I allowed him not to be a man and have his responsibilities.
Yeah.
You know, and it all falls into place to where, you know, it was exhausting.
Yeah.
You know what you did? You spoiled that man.
I did.
That's the worst thing in the world is a grown, spoiled motherfucker.
I did.
Spoiled that man.
I did.
I know a lot of men that spoil
too comfortable to where he knew he didn't have to do much because I handled it all.
That's deep.
And with that type of mindset of,
that's deep.
You still gotta live like you single.
And when it come down to the wire, again, that similar situation that happened with me, it come down to the wire, they don't know what to do. They up in arms because they were so used to, you know, you carrying, you carrying the weight.
Me, I was just breeded differently, I guess. Well, I'm a part of a certain breed, I would say, because I don't want a motherfucker taking care of me because I know what that come with.
Yeah.
You cannot reach. You a dependent.
Yeah.
It's fine and dandy in the beginning. Why? I always go back to sex.
Right. It's always an exchange.
Oh, baby, I got it. I pay your phone bill. You want some weed? I got you. Want liquor? Want a bottle? I got you. Because they know if you get drunk in the house, you going to fuck the shit out of me. Like, this the recipe to some good sex. Until guess what? Like y'all say, until you get tired.
We ran ourselves into our own.
So y'all, yeah. Y'all, it's like women like play a part in that.
Exactly.
In that destruction. Oh, yeah. But as a man though, fuck what you want. A motherfucker can't come. Come on now. You could come. It's extra. Thank you, baby. I got you.
Yeah.
Need something?
It's an addition.
But that comes with a very secure man that will do that. Now a very insecure man, he gonna eat it up.
Oh yeah.
Man. I don't know.
Eat it up.
Like, just let her do it all because I ain't gotta. You know, some people really don't have that level of self-esteem where they feel confident to be able to be in position to make choices for a household. You know, I mean, oh man, like, and I don't mean to like downplay or talk about people, but that's just what it was, you know. No. Like to make a huge choice like that causes some people anxiety, you know, whether man or woman. You know, some people really have anxiety about that, you know, and so what's the first thing people, if you have an anxiety, the first thing you want to do is get the fuck out, right? You not go face the situation, you go run from the situation. Right. You're going to avoid the situation. Right. And so, again, that just come with a lot of, like, just unlearning what you learn. Right. Dealing with your own internal mess. You know, and I gotta say this before we go, even for the men who, you know, have their stuff together, you know, be patient. Be patient with that woman who may present that she, you know, have her ruffles feathered out and she parading around that she is independent. I feel like our common goal in life, you know, is that we all learn from each other. You know, right. Whether you being that friend to her and you showing her and pulling out certain things, but contribute to that growth, help her see from that different aspect. And not saying that's a person's responsibility, but if she's open to learning, be patient with her. Be patient enough to show her. And I'm not saying you got to be dating. That could be your sister, your cousin, you know, whomever it may be. Right. You know, but if they showing you that they want to change, be patient enough and point those things out. If you a strong-minded man and you got your stuff already together and you already see that fault, work with her. Throw her something out there to help her grow, to encourage that growth. And the same thing vice versa for women. Right. You know, I've never been the type that kick a person when they down. Right. You know what I mean? I've been with people that have not had their shit together, that have treated me like shit, and guess what? They still had a meal on the stove or at the table. At the end of the day. You know. Still doing things they probably shouldn't have gotten, but that's just me. That's my principle. Nobody is ever going to change who I am as an individual based on how you treating me. You know, I don't believe in I'm matching your energy, all that stuff. I don't believe in that because I'm nobody puppet. Right. You go get Charmaine, that's it. You not go get the Charmaine H 2.0, the Charmaine 3.5, the Charmaine 10. I don't have all those different facades. You go get what you go get, you know. That's the principle of who I am, you know. And so even when, you know, for the ladies, when you dealing with an individual who may be struggling with those type of things, lift them up. We gotta lift each other up. We kings and we queens up in this thing, you know. And the only way we gonna really break this cycle is if we recognize our errors and don't use those errors in a narcissistic way that you using it to harm another person. You using them to say, hey, you know what? I noticed it's about you. Let's talk about it. Right. What can we do differently? Because this is how it's impacting. I see how it's impacting you. I see how it's impacting us. I see how it's impacting, you know what I'm saying? Right. Being open to have that conversation, you know, because that's the only way that we are going to get to that point to where we are able to break those cycles. Just like, you know, I don't fully agree with what you did with the young lady with the whole ticket thing. You start touching all over, and you know what I'm saying? But a lesson had to be taught in that. You know what I'm saying? And that was the best way that you could have done it. You know? And so I get it. You know, although I don't agree in the way that you did it, but I can see why you did it. And that's the bigger principle. You know what I'm saying?
Some people learn differently.
So
some people hands on, some people ain't. I guarantee it taught a motherfucker a lesson.
It taught her a lesson, and so that's what I'm saying. We have to be willing to teach each other. We have to be open enough to learn from each other, and that is one of the main ways that we are going to be able to break that cycle. Because had it not been for an individual who was cruel to me, I probably wouldn't have been able to unlearn what I needed to unlearn and learn what I needed to learn.
Same here.
You know, so it's always a beauty in disaster. It's all in the matter how you look at it.
Yes.
But you know what? I want to touch on what you're saying for the woman aspect of a man that doesn't have his shit together all the way. Like I said, I still think that, first off, watch what type of man you pick.
True.
Now, don't pick the man when you see he coming in struggling already, right?
It's all part of unlearning what you learned, ladies.
But you picking, 2-3 years come, and then you ready to doggy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So why picking?
Yeah, that falls on you.
No, see, that's
Like,
what.
I mean, let me finish. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, why? My thing is just, if this man got some principles he lived by, some morals, some things he lived by, because 9 times out of 10 we talking money. Let's call it what it is. I don't give a fuck. This nigga could be a fucking preacher. He could be have all type of laws and things he lived by and beautiful fucking attributes about himself, the way he speak and carry himself, but his pockets don't equal up to a certain level, or his sex don't equal up to a certain level. If you can't respect that man in the beginning, cut him off in the beginning. Stop it in the beginning.
Don't be wasting people's time.
Don't get with this nigga and then he continue to show you what he showed you in the beginning. I mean, with no growth. It's a little different for its growth. As long as this man showing you that he's constantly, because everybody move at their different pace.
Yeah.
I mean, you know within a year or two, or 6 months to a year, you know what you working with. You know if you want this motherfucker or you don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just what it is. Like, but take your time. This man still could play a valuable part in your life through advice. I mean, don't discredit this man because his pockets is not on a certain level.
It don't even have to be in a rush to be in a relationship.
That's
if you
what I'm
see
saying.
how that person may or may not fit into your life, like don't be so quick to, and I think that's what I'm hearing you say, don't be so quick to jump into
That's
it.
why I say take your time,
but taking your
yourself.
time, and because that
You know
person
what I mean?
could end up being a very valuable friend to you.
But then guess what?
know?
He can get his shit together. And then, next thing you know, this motherfucker might surpass you. You see what I'm saying? You never know who you might come across when you motherfucker slip and fall, crack your shit.
Right.
But you didn't drill this nigga through the mud because his pockets went on a certain level.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't respect this man as the man of the house. Let's say, okay, you moved in, y'all together 10 years, and all of a sudden the respect just gone. Like,
Yeah.
this man still plays a factor. Long as I ain't talking about no fucking dependent. I ain't talking about that you got. If a woman got a supportive man habit, goddamn it, that's a dependent. He's a child. I'm not talking that. I'm talking good men that's out here that's still working on themselves and bettering themselves. I mean, I ain't talking about who had a good job that he lose his job.
Oh, you know what that
And then
is?
a motherfucker just, you know what I mean? You know what?
Yeah.
Well, this ain't gonna work because,
Bullshit.
huh, bitch? Like,
Bullshit. You just wasted his time.
Right.
you using these motherfuckers.
You know what that reminds me of? That movie
You know what I mean?
Acrimony. What is it? Acrimony? What was that
Right.
movie? Acrimony.
But that's what I'm
Frenemy.
saying, man. That's what I'm saying,
Girl.
though.
But wait, that reminds me of, with just what you was just saying right there. Like, I think that is the best way to describe how sometimes our family patterns can interfere with our thought process. And within that thought process, we have that expectation of the man and what manhood should look like from a woman perspective, you know. And I mean, for those who don't know how the movie went, there was a guy, he was well educated and he knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he stuck to that goal, and he wasn't making enough money fast enough. And here we are, the family is in the girl ear telling her to do XYZ. She need to leave him alone because he's bankrupting her, and you know, he's not helping, he's not contributing. So she leaves. And right when she leaves, he came up.
Cracked the ceiling.
Cracked the ceiling.
Pursuit of Happiness is another movie.
And now she gets upset. Now she's upset.
I bet.
She get violently upset too. Yeah. Pursuit of Happiness.
That's another movie.
Yeah, that's
Will
one of my
Smith.
favorite movies. Being
Oh,
patient.
girl cut his water off.
Yeah.
Laughing with his son. You know what I mean? He did his 1, 2, and then Murder, She Wrote after that.
Yeah.
But it's so many. That's all I'm saying is, man, just give a good man a goddamn honest shot, and it's just respect, because I mean, like I said, you know, we all got our traumas and shit and hurdles and shit, but just sometimes, man, just people just need that. Especially, I mean, if motherfucker show potential. Yeah, I mean, I ain't seen this go out here and pick a nigga off the sidewalk and, you know what I mean, wash his face and shit. Like, you know what I mean, I'm talking about motherfucker got potential. Like, he having this, you know what I mean, something to work with.
Right.
And I ain't saying raise this nigga, because most men won't gravitate to that shit.
Right.
I mean, I learned my lesson, motherfucker. I learned my lesson young. This is why I tell young man, take your fucking time. Because if you can, get your own shit. Because that's where it starts. Know that you can hold your own by your fucking self.
Right.
That means then you won't settle for nothing less. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? If you can't, motherfucker, it's beautiful if motherfucking go on vacations and she get the plane and you get the telly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
That's how you do it.
You know what I mean? That's a beautiful fucking thing.
Oh yeah.
Or, you know, you motherfucker go out, you know, y'all go get something to eat, you pay for the food, she pay for y'all drinks. Nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful fucking thing. And guess what? And if you with a woman in the beginning, y'all just dating for the first time you go out, and she do that. Guess what? If she want to give you some pussy after that, that's what she choose to do. Not because she's obligated, because you didn't pay for every motherfucking thing.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? You know, I told a young friend of mine years ago, rest in peace, man. Like, you know what I mean? And she was gangster, like, young chick. Like, she was gangster like that. Like, you know, she hold her own. Like, and I used to tell her, like, this is what you got to do. You keep doing this, niggas going to expect something. But when you tell that motherfucker, oh, no, I got the tip. You know what I mean? Something, a gesture of appreciation.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just a gesture. But don't sit back and gimme. And, you know what I mean? And niggas do that whole ass shit. That's a different breed. I don't know about that. I mean, you know. I mean, you know,
Yeah, they
I
come
can't-
from different clouds.
It go both ways now. I mean, it ain't one side. I'd be a damn fool. Because I know a lot of sucker ass niggas under the sun. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, just pace yourself, you know. You know what I mean? You know, respect each other, man. You know what I mean? Come in with respect. If it ain't reciprocated, leave. If it ain't
Don't waste your
reciprocated,
time.
don't waste your fucking time. Life too fucking short, wasting your time. Don't try to build a bear.
No, we ain't built no bears around here.
Yeah, I mean-
ladies, this is them times over with.
You know, don't try to fix a nigga.
Yeah.
Man, you can assist if he, you know, you can tell when you working
You
with
can
some decent
contribute
product.
to some growth, but
That's what I'm saying. You can tell when you're working for some decent material.
no, it's really
Might be missing a button
people out
here.
here really
You know,
look.
it's
It's people really like
Collar might be
targeting
leaking.
projects though, like you know.
Niggas sitting-
That's a whole nother. We talked about that.
Like this and shit. all uncoordinated. You like, come here, baby, hook you out. You just don't know. You don't know. And, you know, some niggas just don't know. Like,
That's
you know.
different. Like, you know,
Well,
it's literally
I
some
can't even
people
get my
out
shit
here
fixed,
that really want to, it look fine, but it's really people out here that, you know, really want to do right by an individual and have really good intentions. And you may not be all the way, ain't no such thing as perfect, but you may not always have your stuff together, and you might see more in them, than they see in themselves at that time. But you pour that positivity, anybody that, enters into my life, even if it's just a stranger on the street, I'm talking, what you into, what you doing right here, what's your story, I'm always interested, and you just pour positive things into people, because when you put that positivity out there, that's what you get back. You want it back, right? I think we all can agree that we love feeling good, right? If you don't, then but when you put that positivity and invest it into your relationships, if you see an individual who is not as strong in a certain area, and you paying attention to that, instead of tearing them down, encourage them, lift them up, give them positive words.
Gotta speak life into them.
Sometimes, like you said, like it's just those gestures, the small gestures, that go without being said, without that individual, asking or wanting. And so, again, that just sums it up, with just feeling protected. Like, it got to go both ways. We have to be open to it. And men really have to want to do it. Can't we run around here, trying to figure out if she going to be receptive or not. You can't let nobody change who you are. If that's who you intend to be, then be that, And if she show you that she not ready, then let that be that, But don't sit on your hands out of worry or fear or whatever is holding you back, whatever pre-notion that you may have that she may not be receptive. You never know until you put it out there.
Right.
So, that's all I got for today.
Yes, this was a very good topic.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Very good.
I got some also subtopics too. Y'all see me with my laptop. That's what I be doing, or with my pen and paper.
Always thinking.
My thoughts.
Before we leave, we also do another podcast called Check Your Temp Podcast. So, if you haven't checked that out, you get a chance, check it out. We always have great conversations. We all, and also at the bottom of the screen, you see a Cash App. It's 365 NEF Foundation.
Be sure to donate.
No donation. No donation is too small.
Help these kids.
We deal with sickle cell, any other chronic illness, and also mental health.
We mentor and provide life coaching and mental health therapy.
Yes, so
for the youth.
That's where your donation allows us to bring our services to the community. It takes us to take care of us. So, I want to add that little 2 cents in there.
I love it. That's what's up. Yeah. Thanks for sticking with us, y'all. All right. Till next time. Thank you for listening to Sisters with the T, where I, Charmaine, and my dear beloved sister Danielle have come together to share our experiences and our knowledge. I hope that during this episode that you found yourself enlightened and also encouraged. Again, thank you all for listening, and please subscribe to our channel, and also be sure to check out our website for some awesome herbal tea.